Okay, so today we'll be going through the reading task. All right, we'll be going through almost each and every question in detail. So uh, I have a small presentation for you all. So once you look at it and you understand what kind of questions you'll be getting, we will. It'll be easy for all of us to answer the questions one by one later on as we practice. Now, we go into the we'll have a small introduction about what we heard yesterday, a brief recap. So let's go into reading instructions. In reading instructions, reading introduction. In that, just for information, it's a 1 hour duration. It has 3 sections. It has 40 questions in total, and the reason why they conduct this test is basically to check your reading skills, knowledge, and understanding of the English language. All right. So it's just a small recap of what we heard yesterday. Now, if you look into the question types, go to the next slide, please. All right. If you look at the question types, yesterday I told you there are a total of 11 type of questions. Now I have compiled them and made it a little shorter, so don't get confused. These are still the same. The first option is the multiple choice. So they will give you a certain question, and then they'll give some options A, B, C, D, like that. And based on the question, we have to choose the right answer. We'll go in detail from the next slide onwards, not immediately. Then we have true, false, not given. Yes, no, not given. All right. I'll tell you how to work on these questions in the next part of the program. Now, then we have matching information, matching headings, matching features, and sentence endings. Now, these are all little complicated, but it's easy to answer once you understand what are they asking. And you should also be aware that you need to know the synonyms and the antonyms of that particular word. Now let's say, for example, if I want to know the synonym of something called of a word called uh, pretty or beautiful, what is the synonym of that? Can anybody tell me the synonym of pretty or beautiful, or the antonym? Antonym is basically the opposite. Perfect, Deepak. Good, Dheeraj. Awful. Yes, Durga. Parity. That's all good. That's all good. Now, so as long as we're clear about what that particular word means and what kind of a what kind of a word, a different kind of a word it represents, it'll be easy for us to answer all these things. Okay. Now we have sentence completion. Sentence completion is basically they'll give you one part of the sentence and they'll ask you to uh, connect the remaining part of the sentence, which are given to you as options. We'll go through that as well. Then we have fill in the table, flow chart, summary, or notes, something like that. Then we have diagram labeling. Okay, so basically they'll ask a question. They'll ask a question, and they'll give you a certain diagram. I have that example also to you. I'll show that. And it'll be easy for you once you know what diagram you're looking at. Then we have something called as short answers. Short answers are given. I would say 50% of the time short answers are given, but they're basically like fill in the blanks or one word answers or 2 word answers and so on. All right. Now let's go into the next part. Go to the next slide, please. Okay. As you can see over here, this is how a reading section appears. The first one is the passage number, whether it's a passage number 1, passage number 2, or passage number 3. All right. Then it tells how many questions are there for that particular passage. For example, in this particular reading page, you can see the instruction over there. You should spend about 20 minutes on questions 14 to 26, which are based on reading passage 2 below. All right. So basically, it's informing us that there are close to around 13 questions from this passage, which will be asked of. Okay. So you just have to be aware of that. Then the third one is the title of the passage. When you read the title of the passage, you'll understand what this passage is going to be about. It's not going to be you don't have to guess 100% as to what it is. If you have a certain idea on what this title of the passage means, that is enough for you. It will give a clear indication. Okay, it's going to talk about this subject. Even if you do not understand that particular title, not a problem. This is just for information as to what the title means. Okay, so don't worry about the title so much. Then comes the actual passage. The actual passage can be around 8 paragraphs, 6 paragraphs, or 10 paragraphs. All right. Sometimes these paragraphs are marked as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like that, with alphabets, or they are marked as numericals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it is just to make our life easier, nothing else. Okay, so this is how a reading section appears in your test. All right, now can we go to the next slide, please? All right, over here we are talking about multiple choice questions. Now to the left of the slide, you can see the questions. All right, and there are some instructions on that question. And to the right of the slide, you see the passage. Okay, this is reading passage 3. All right, and there's a title called "What is Exploration?" So basically, it tells me that we are going to talk about exploration. Okay, so we don't have to worry about understanding the topic. We just have a basic idea on this. Now, if you look at the questions over here, questions 27 to 32, choose the correct letter A, B, C, or D, and write the correct letter in the boxes 27 to 32 on your answer sheet. Now, I'll show the answer sheet and everything after some time, but for your information, if you have a pen and paper with you, all right, I want you to whenever we have when we go through a practice session, I want you to just start writing on a piece of paper. Okay, do not worry about oh, this is not like I only have a book, I only have a paper, I don't have an IELTS paper. Don't worry about that. Just write it on a piece of paper, so it gives you the practice. All right, we're just practicing over here. Before the test, you will understand the IELTS paper appearance. If some people have an idea of IELTS paper appearance, no issues. If you do not have it also, no issues. But as of now, for practice, just write it in a small notebook or on a piece of paper. Okay, you'll have 40 questions. You'll have to answer all the 40 questions. Anyway, so coming over here, if you look at the questions over here, let's look at question 27. The writer refers to visitors to New York to illustrate the point that, then he has given us some options. Now, where do we find this answer? We find this answer in the reading passage 3. Okay, we need to understand what the writer is asking, what the question is asking us of. Okay, and what are the answers that are given over here. Now, what I would suggest is, or what I would tell here is, there are two ways to answer this question. Number one, when you come across a reading passage, you can read the entire passage. Do not understand it. Okay. Do not try to understand it and remember it, basically. All right. Just skim through it. Skim through it. You will automatically get an idea as to this passage means, this passage represents this particular meaning. You'll automatically get that. As of now, you don't have to remember anything. Okay, that is what you need to do. Now, the first thing is, you can go through the passage. You can take 5 minutes or 6 minutes, go through the entire passage, get an idea as to what it is, and then you can answer the questions. All right, that's one way. The second way is, you go through the questions. All right, and then try to get an idea as to what that particular question is asking you about, and then read the answers, go into the passage, work on it, and find the answer. All right, that's the second way. So it depends upon how comfortable you are in and what is your strategy. This is basically, you're trying to identify what strategy you have. All right, what strategy you want to have to attempt these questions. So two strategies. One is going through the entire passage, spending around 5 to 7 minutes or 8 minutes, whatever time it is, understand the passage, and then you attempt the questions. The second part is, you attack the questions directly. First, you go through the questions, read it, try to get an idea of what it is, and uh, check the answers of what answers they are, and you'll have to choose the right answer after reading the passage. Okay, so it depends upon what strategy you are going to go for. Now, there are can anybody go through the first question and the answers and give me the right answer with the paragraph we have in to the right of the slide? Can we do that small exercise now? The question is, the writer refers to visitors to New York to illustrate the point that exploration is an intrinsic element of being human. Most people are enthusiastic about exploring. Exploration can lead to surprising results. Most people find exploration daunting. Check the first question, 27. The writer refers to visitors to New York to illustrate the point that, can anybody find the right answer of these four options that are given? The answer is available on the right side of your screen. It's in the passage. What is exploration?
Sir, just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Students, can you please unmute your mic and ask questions? And if you have any doubts, you can communicate with Vishal, sir. Just unmute your mic. I think it will be more feasible. Sir, please continue. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, sir, please continue. I would also want you to encourage your students to just unmute their mics and if they can talk freely.
Yeah. Team, you can unmute and you can talk, you can answer the question, not an issue. Don't have to write it in the chat. Okay?
Shall I change the slide? Vishal sir, shall I change the slide?
Yeah, change it then. Okay. So we have seen the multiple choice question over here, how it appears. The answer is there. Don't worry if you do not find it also. Next, can we go to the next slide? The true false not given. Are we on that? Yes. All right. Okay. Now this particular slide tells you about true false not given or yes no not given. How it appears. If you look at the instructions to the left of your screen, you can see questions 5 to 7. All right. Do the following statements. Agree with the information given in passage 1. The passage is to the right of your screen. In boxes 5 to 7 on your answer sheet, write true, false, not given. And they're given us 3 statements. We need to identify whether it is correct or wrong. All right. Now, for this kind of a question, it's the same strategy. Either go through the passage completely, okay, get an idea as to what the passage is talking about, and then you attempt the questions. If not, the second strategy is you can go through the questions, and then you can read the passage. Now, that the things that you need to understand over here is that if it is yes or true, that means it is available in that passage. Okay. If it is false or no, it is opposite to what is there in the passage. As a simple example, the pen is the ink in the pen is blue. All right, is given in the passage, but in the statement it says that the ink in the pen is purple. Now, is it true or false? It's false, obviously. Correct. Then it says in the statement, if it says the ink in the pen is blue, that is sorry, in the passage it says the ink in the pen is blue, but in the statement they give it's a ballpoint pen, whereas in the passage it's never given as a ballpoint or an ink pen. Okay, in those cases the answer would be not given. All right. Now, for example, uh, you have to understand there's a minor difference between not given and false. All right, in IELTS uh, books and everywhere they're just given one statement for not given if there is no information on this. Correct, there'll not be any information on this, but the questions will not be that simple. The questions are going to be a little different. Okay, they would sometimes be partly true, but the rest of the information will not be given at all in the passage. When we come across those kind of things, I'll show you how to identify those. Okay. Now, in all these questions, what we are reading or trying to understand how IELTS reading works, you need to understand or you need to remember to identify the keywords. Okay, you need to identify the keywords. For example, in this statement for question 5, in the Middle Ages, most Europeans knew where nutmeg was grown. That's the statement given. All right. Now, can we find out if it is true, false, or not given? If you look towards the passage, okay, the first paragraph. Can anybody tell me if the answer is there? That is, if it is true, false, or not given. Can anybody unmute your mics and just say yes or no? First and second paragraph. Just look at the first and second paragraphs.
Sir, I think it is not given.
The keywords over here are Middle Ages, most Europeans, nutmeg was grown.
Sir, I think so. It is not given.
I'm sorry, could you be a little louder?
I think it is not given in the passage.
Okay, why do you say it was not given?
It is not given in the passage, sir. Fifth statement.
Okay, can we go through it again?
Yes,
See,
in the
first find out.
in the
Sorry, ma.
second paragraph, it has given that only Arabs know the way to where the nutmeg is grown.
Yes, in the Middle Ages, and was used as a flavoring, medicinal, and preservative agents. Throughout this period, the Arabs were the exclusive importers of the spice to Europe. They sold nutmeg for high prices to merchants based in Venice, but they never revealed the exact location of the source of this extremely valuable commodity. So, is it true, false, or not given now? Because I can find out that the Europeans didn't know where this nutmeg was. They didn't reveal this identity to them. So it's a choice between not given and false. What would you choose again? What would you choose?
False.
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 In the second, yes. You can choose false. Anybody else? Okay. The answer is true. The answer is true. Reason is we found out where this particular paragraph is. It's in the second paragraph. Okay, and most Europeans knew where the nutmeg was grown, and they sold the nutmeg for higher prices to the merchants based in Venice, but they never revealed the exact location of the source. They never revealed. So most Europeans didn't know. Correct. It is false. My mistake. I read something else. It is false. Most Europeans never knew where this nutmeg was grown. Perfect, ma. Who's that?
Deepak, sir.
Sorry?
Deepak.
Deepak. Good, Deepak. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Well done, ma. My mistake. I didn't see the paragraph properly. Good. Then, similar kind, you'll have to find out the second and the third questions also with the similar tactic. You need to find the keyword, or here the keyword is for the sixth question, VOC. All right, and then it was the world's first major trading company. All right, so you need to identify where this VOC is, and was it the world's first major trading company? Okay, like that you need to identify the keywords and where this particular paragraph, where this particular VOC is in this particular in this passage. All right, similar kind. Once we do a lot of exercises, you'll understand this. All right, ma. As of now, just for your information, I've done this particular exercise. Then can we go to the next slide, please? All right, matching information, heading, features, and sentence endings. Now, if you look at the instructions, question 33 to 37, look at the following statements and the list of explorers below. Match each statement with the correct explorer A to E. All right, so they're given a list of people as a list of explorers, and they're given as a statement also. 33 to 37, they're given as a statement as well. Now, if you look at the instructions carefully, there's something called as NB. Do you see that? Okay. In this NB, it's basically telling us that we can use any letter from the list of explorers more than once.
Sir, the
Do you see that?
visible.
When
Hello, sir.
yes, ma, tell me.
The presentation is not visible.
I'm sorry, ma. Hello.
Now,
Kunal, is it visible now? Yes, sir, you can continue.
yes, ma'am.
All right, ma. So as we can see over here in questions 33 to 37, they've given us a clear instruction that we can use. You may use any letter more than once. So from the list of explorers to the statements given, we can use the alphabets multiple times. All right. In this case, let's take for example any example. Let's take Peter Fleming. Okay, if Peter Fleming is connected to question number 34. All right, and it is also connected to question number 36. We can use him. We can use that particular alphabet multiple times. So there's nothing wrong in it. If at all this particular option is not given, you may use any letter more than once is not given. That means you have to choose from the list of explorers the alphabets, whatever alphabets are there, only once. You cannot use it more than once. Is that clear, ma? Is that clear? All right. So can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. Here we get this is again matching information, headings, features, and sentence endings, part 2. Now in this part, as you can see, there's a summary given to you. All right, and there is a list of options given to you at the bottom. In the terms of alphabets, A is ending, B is events, C is warring, D is links. So like that, they've given you some alphabets with certain answers. Now, if you look at the particular statement over here, it is giving us it is giving us from the passage, whatever passage you have in the to the right of your screen. From that passage, you have they've taken a summary of it and they left some as fill in the blanks. So you need to write the alphabets over here. If you look at the instructions of this particular question, complete the summary using the list of words A to I below. Write the correct letter A to I. All right. So you don't have to write the word. You need to write the alphabet A to I. You need to write the correct letter. Is that clear? All right. So we'll go to the next slide, please. Then continuing for this matching information or headings, again, it's a summary that is given to us, but see the instruction on the question. Complete the summary below. Choose one word only from the passage for each answer. How many words you should use? How many words you should use? Only one word. Okay. So choose the appropriate word for this. Now, how to identify where this particular passage starts from? Can anybody tell me where this particular passage is? The energy required to operate the desalinator comes from sunlight. This device can be used in different locations as it has dash. So try to identify from the right of your screen what this particular device or how this device can be used in different locations. the reason why this device can be used in different locations. Can anybody identify and tell me? Identify the passage and tell me. Just identify the passage. You don't even have to tell me the answer. Where this particular statement is given. That's all I need. You don't have to tell me the answer also. Anybody? Just tell me the passage. Which passage is it? The energy required to operate the desalinator comes from sunlight. The device can be used at different locations as it has. Where is that statement?
Think it's in the B passage.
Okay, somebody answered. Perfect. Perfect. It's in the paragraph C. Well done. Well done, Dheeraj. All right. We go to the next slide. All right. In this slide, I haven't given any paragraph for you all, but just to show how the questions appear. Now again, there is a summary that they'll give. If this is actually three pictures. These are three different pictures. The left, the extreme left, you have questions 27 to 31. This is basically completing a summary again with the list with the list that is provided in the table. All right. You have A, funding, B, trees, C, rare species, etc. Then in the middle of that particular slide, you see a small diagram, correct? How sugar is produced from sugarcane. Now what happens is in the passage they'll give you a description of this entire process, and they'll give you this diagram, and finally they'll ask you to fill in the blanks. Like for example, whatever black markings I have done, they'll ask you to fill in those blanks, like number 2, number 3, number 5, or number 4, whatever it is. You need to find the right word to enter over there, to write over there, and score your marks. All right. Then to the extreme right of the screen, you have a note. Okay, a particular note is given to you, and they're asking you to choose one word only to fill in that particular note. Now, if you get a note like this, or the summary, or even a diagram, it becomes easier for you. Okay, reason is, if you look at the note over here, how Silbo is produced. Okay, and they're given you 3 points over there. Each point is an indicator. It tells you what to look for. Again, you have to look for the keyword over here. The keywords are, for example, if you look at the question 20, the keywords are high and low frequency. High and low frequency tones. All right, that's the keyword. Different, they actually represent different sounds in Spanish. Okay, in the paragraph, I didn't put the paragraph over here. So in the paragraph, you have to look for the high and low frequency tones. So anything that represents the tones or the frequency, you have to be aware of that particular keyword, and you have to scan that particular text for an answer, similar to the rest of the questions that are given over here. All right. Now, We'll go to the next slide. All right. Can we go to the next slide, please? All right. Here we have something called as sentence completion. This sentence completion is one of the easiest part of IELTS. Reason is they give you one part of the sentence and they ask you to finish the next part of the sentence. In this case, let's look at question 27. In fairy tales, details of the plot. Okay, they're giving you the first part of the sentence. They're asking you to complete it by choosing the list of sentences provided in the box. Okay, now let's have a small game. Try to find out the third part, the ending part of this sentence of 27. In fairy tales, details of the plot. You have to choose one answer from the box. All right, the answers are available to the right of your screen in reading passage 3. Can somebody tell me the answer for this? In fairy tales, details of the plot. What happens to the details of the plot? If you read the first 2 paragraphs, you will get the answer. Can everyone see the reading passage on the right of the screen? The question again, in fairy tales, details of the plot. It's available in the first or the second part of the passage. The first paragraph or the second paragraph of the passage. Okay. It's in B. All right. That is a passage. B are the reason for the survival. Okay. Anybody else? Kunal, I got your answer. You're saying it's B. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. Kunal, it's a very good primer, but the answer is C. Show considerable global variation. If you look at the paragraph 1, the last part of the paragraph, from but which version? You have something called as a small question was asked over there. But which version? In some versions, the wolf swallows up the grandmother, while in others, it locks her in a cupboard. In some stories, Red Riding Hood gets the better of the wolf on her own, while in others, a hunter or a woodcutter hears her cries and comes to the rescue. So it is not the reason for the survival, but it shows a lot of variation, a lot of different endings in across the world. though the story is known, it's a common story. All right. So you just have to be a little aware as to what the traps are over here. Now, are the main reason for survival, is it given over there in the first paragraph? Yes, it is given. All right. But the details of the plot, they're talking about the details. They're not asking you about did who's that? Red Riding Hood. Did Little Red Riding Hood survive? They're not asking about that. They're asking about the details of the plot. So what is the detail? Detail means the story, how the story ends, or how the story begins and how it ends. That the entire part is detail. Okay, but the details over here are different for different uh, areas of the world or different parts of the world. So we have to be aware of these kind of traps. All right, we will learn about this from tomorrow. As we start our exercises, we'll work on these. All right, and understand one thing. This part of reading, okay, the reading exercise is very, very easy, depending upon you identifying the question and identifying the question, the keywords, and knowing where to look for. All right, it becomes a lot easier as you keep practicing. So as of now, you do not have to worry that, oh, I got this answer wrong. It's will I be able to do or anything? You're still in the early stages to think about any of these issues. Okay, do not worry. This is just to show how the questions appear. They are tricky. IELTS reading is very, very tricky. Okay, but if you know what to look for, how to work on it, and how to get your answers, it becomes a lot easier. The first two parts will be tough for you to. It is a bit tough because you need to understand the questions. You need to practice. Once you practice, everything is easy. All right. So this is what I wanted to show you people today.